In today's episode, we're going to be giving our final NFL predictions. You can expect to hear where every team falls in the standings, division winners, NFL honors, playoff seedings, and ultimately, who will be contending for Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. So, here we go.
Here we go!
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Views from the Booth podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Barrow, and with me, as always, is Irving Ravello. And today's a special episode. We have just a few days left. When this episode drops, tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day that we finally get Cowboys versus Eagles, and we're here to give you guys our predictions for the season. We've got a lot to cover. Irving, you excited?
I'm so excited, bro. I am really excited.
I am so pumped. There's a lot to get to. We got divisions, we've got NFL honors, we've got our Super Bowl prediction. So yeah, Irving, let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So AFC East, who are you going with? Where does everybody fall?
I'll just put in, obviously, to you guys early in the season. Records might, of course, be different because beginning of the season, you could only do so much from the start. I went in more detail. I would say records. I'm gonna put the record I put next to it. It's gonna be really high for some of these teams, but
Hey, that's fine.
So the AFC East, the winner I have is no other than the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the Bills going 15-2.
Okay.
I don't know if that's too much pie, but of course I checked the schedule. It's nothing too bad.
Mm-hmm.
I have. Actually, I don't know if this is going to be a shocker to you or to a lot of the viewers, but I think the second place is going to be the Patriots. And I think they're going to finish with a 11-6 record. And then I have the Jets.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know you heard it.
11-6. Wow.
Yeah, and I'll explain why.
Wow.
I'll explain why. But
my goodness.
I know. Maybe I'm glazing the Patriots.
That's quite a turnaround.
I think the Patriots, and I could be really dead wrong. I don't think they'll be last though, because I think Jets will go 7-10, and I think the Dolphins will go 5-12. So the reasons behind this, of course, I checked the schedules. I check a lot of these teams, but I think the most shocking one, of course, to your reaction is the Patriots schedule. Here's why. So week 1 they have the Raiders. I think they win that one. Week 2, the Dolphins. I think they lose that one. Then they have Steelers, Panthers back-to-back. They win those 2.
Okay.
They lose away against the Bills. And guess what? They have Saints and Titans back-to-back. I think they win those 2. Okay. Then I believe they beat the Browns and they beat the Falcons, both home games. And I believe... Sorry, that was my dog. And I believe they go into Tampa Bay, week 10. They lose to the Bucks.
Okay.
They host the Jets. They beat the Jets, I believe, that game. They lose to Cincinnati at their home turf, where the Bengals play in Cincinnati. They beat the Giants. And I do think in Week 15, some magical little crazy trick they're going to do. I don't know. But I think they beat the Bills at home. Mm-hmm. And then they lose to Baltimore, they lose to New York, but then they beat Dolphins as the final game. I don't think that's a far reach of a schedule, of a record. That's why I believe I have them 11-6. Their schedule isn't that bad, man. And I think Drake May. I think this offense, I think it's going to be slightly pushed, but no other than their defense. I think they're going to absolutely capitalize on most of these games in terms of the wins they're going to get. I think. This is I don't know. I know this record might be too high for some people, but that's why I have them going 11-6. That's why. I believe that might have been a shocker to you. But yes, Jets will be 7-10 as third place. Dolphins will be 5-12 as the last place finishers of that division.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you might have fully convinced me that New England very well could go 11-6.
Yeah, I told you that schedule.
That's crazy because I agree with pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Like you even had the Jets beating them at one point. Yes, I think they can go 1-1 with the Jets.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Okay. So who was third and fourth place?
Third was the Jets.
Okay.
And the Dolphins were last place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So me and you have the exact same standings for the
Really?
AFC East.
Okay.
Yes,
All
we
right.
do.
All right.
I was a little shocked when I even before, like I had New England 2 even
Okay.
before you revealed that schedule. So I was a little shocked when I heard that.
Oh, yeah.
But yes,
11 wins.
I completely agree. I think
Mhm.
that yeah, I think
I think they beat
I'm
because I had the record as them beating the Dolphins twice, but they lose to the Bills twice.
right. Okay.
Or sorry, actually, I do think they beat the Bills once. They tie. I
Right.
think they tie with New York and they tie with Buffalo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think for the most part this is a boring division. I am pretty shocked
I think
that
that's AFC South. AFC
yeah.
South is a boring division.
Well, I mean in terms of like we both predicted it, like
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah.
actually I'm kind of shocked that so the way that I
We
think
tied
that
it.
the way that I think this show is going to work out is we're going to agree for the most part on who finishes first, who finishes last, but second and third, like there's going to be some
So it's
diversity
just
there.
absolutely.
But for this one, like I like it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we're seeing eye to eye as far as the
Already,
East
don't
goes.
jinx it now.
Yeah. Now the North, maybe North is where it'll get interesting. I feel like
it will.
So
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the AFC North?
So the AFC North, I have the Cincinnati Bengals winning that division.
Okay.
I have the Bengals winning it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Hold on.
Oh my gosh, Irving.
What?
What the crap, bro?
What do you mean?
You have Cincinnati winning the division?
I do, because I don't
Bro.
think Baltimore will.
Dude, you hate the Ravens.
I do.
Man.
I really do.
You really hate the Ravens.
There's a certain extent.
Oh, man.
I have the Ravens coming in second with those two teams will make the playoffs. I think the Bengals win a 12-5 record. 12-5. Yeah, I said it. Baltimore at 10-7. The Steelers third place 8-9. I think they finally get below 500 at 8-9.
Okay.
At 8-9. And I
Right.
actually think the Browns, and I think because I'm biased, it's not that bad. We're last place, but I did say we'll go.
Right. Okay. There you go.
I said I have us going 7-10.
Okay.
I know that's probably the maximum ceiling for the Browns,
Yes.
but I have us going 7-10. Because I personally think, say what you want. Everyone can say what they want, but Cleveland, of course, I had us beat each of our division teams once at least, because I do think we'll do. Because we have done that's been like the last 7-8 years. Well, we have only had 3 division wins. I kid you not. It's been kind of rough. So, but the Bengals are actually last year, the first time in Joe Burrow's career, the Bengals actually beat us twice last year. We beat the Ravens once, I want to say, and the Steelers once. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, that's what happened.
Okay, yeah, this is definitely a little bit more diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right out the gate,
I had to.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Cincinnati is going to the playoffs next year. Zach Taylor, I'm assuming, will retain his job after 2025. Oh,
They're in purgatory.
Gosh.
They're going to be in playoff purgatory because I think, well, we'll get to playoffs later, but that's pretty much why. I do think they win the division, but I don't, not a spoiler alert, but we got to see how far they go. Do I hate Baltimore? Yes, but I do think Baltimore has a 10-7 record. If you want, I can go in depth why I think the Bengals schedule real quick. I mean,
let me just give my thoughts real quick. So,
yeah.
I think that it's going to be the exact same as it was a year ago. So we have Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Cleveland.
Wow.
Cleveland. I don't like that you gave them 7 wins because I think that they're going to be a lot worse. But here, I'm at least happy that you had them finishing last at the very least.
No, yeah.
Pittsburgh. I understand, like Pittsburgh, we all want to predict when the Steelers are going to go below 500, 8-9, 7-10, like one of those two. But for me, it's one of those things where it's like, I'll believe it when I see it, and it just hasn't happened yet. And somehow, some way, I just know, like, this team is going to go 9-8. Like, maybe this is the year. Maybe this is the year, but I'm not going to be the one who predicts it and is wrong about it. But no. I hear what you're saying. And Baltimore, I mean, top to bottom, like I think this is a Super Bowl contender, man. I
I hope
think
not.
they should have been in the AFC Championship last year if it hadn't been for a rare drop in the end zone from Mark Andrews, who shout out Mark Andrews. He is now on my fantasy team. I can at least depend on him to catch the ball in the regular season. But I think that they should be right there with the Bills and the Chiefs, and I see no reason to believe why they shouldn't be the number one team in the AFC North yet again. So please share with me
Yeah,
the Bengals schedule.
absolutely. I sure will. This is their 12-5 record.
12 and 5,
Keep in
my
mind, this is a
gosh.
really cool website I'm using right now.
Oh,
They'll
man.
go 8-1 at home, and I think they'll go 4-4 away. So hear me out. Hear me out. I know the defense is a huge problem, and it's a huge anchor and a ball and chain to an
Oh,
organization. But let's just play devil's advocate and assume, this is what's going to happen. So week 1, I do think Cleveland beats the Bengals. I have that. I think we
Hey,
beat
me
them.
too. Me too.
Week 1. Week 2, they beat the Jaguars. Week 3, they beat the Vikings. Week 4, they lose to the Denver in Denver.
Okay, yeah.
Week 5, they lose to Detroit at home. That's their only loss of home game I'm giving them.
Wow.
They
Okay.
lose to Detroit at home. They beat
Reasonable.
the Packers in Green Bay.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I know.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I still
not
have.
anymore.
I don't know. I still think
I don't think so.
week 6. That's probably going to be maybe a hot take of that week, but I'm having the Bengals beat the Packers. Then here's 5 straight wins I have for them. Ready? Week 7, they beat the Steelers. Week 8, they beat the Jets. Week 9, they beat the Bears. Those 3 are home games, by the way. Week 11, they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Week 12, they beat New England at home. And then they go to on the road to Baltimore. They lose to Baltimore, and here's back-to-back losses. They lose to Baltimore and they lose to Buffalo. Back-to-back away games, those losses. Then they host Baltimore. They beat them at home. And then they beat the Dolphins away in Miami. And then they beat the Cardinals. And then they will beat the Browns as a final regular season game.
Okay.
That's my 12-5 record.
All right. Yeah, I'm not as convinced. And I feel like there's a lot of ticky-tack ones. Not as many not as many definite as the Patriots schedule was.
Yes.
Like that one was very easy to convince me on. The Bengals, dude, that defense was rough last year and it did not get any better.
I know, which is why, well, I'm not going to say anything later, but I'm not a Bengals. Look, if there's any team I hate the least in our division, yes, it's the Bengals for sure.
Right.
But the Bengals, I'm looking at the record, their schedule. I don't think it's that difficult. However, I do say, bless you. Majority of these wins will be because Joe Burrow will be lights out this entire season. He's going to be locked in. And here's what's funny. You know what's really funny? I think, let's just say they go 12-5 or 11-6, 10. Let's say they make the playoffs. They go far into the division round. I think somehow, some way, if they don't get the job done, I think it's funny, but I think Zach Taylor does get fired. I think they're gonna put a stop to. Okay, this is way too abysmal. Defense is absolute atrocious. We have gone nowhere with you. But I do think, and this is another debate for another time. I think Sean McDermott has done more with the Bills than Zach Taylor has done with the Bengals.
Fair.
My personal opinion. I know people would say it's almost alike. I don't think so. I think there's a huge difference. I think if Sean McDermott coached the Bengals, I think the Bengals would have already won Super Bowl.
They probably would have, actually.
Yeah.
They probably would have.
So that's my opinion. Yeah.
Sean McDermott, he's a culture changer. Zach Taylor, what does he do well? Please tell me.
I don't know.
He has Joe Burrow carrying him.
But as a Browns fan, I hope they keep him. I hope they keep Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
But yes.
I don't think that's going to happen.
That's probably not. But
yeah.
Yeah, that's my prediction so far.
Okay, wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are in agreement on the East. North, a little more divided. Let's see how we feel about the most forgettable division in football, the AFC South.
Yeah.
What you think?
I think this is obvious. Houston Texans are going to be division winners of this division.
Correct.
CJ Stroud will take this division, but it won't be crazy. I think they finished with a 10-7 record.
Okay.
And I do think what's funny, the second and third place will be tied with 6-11 records, and that will be the Colts and the Jaguars. I have both of them going 6-11. and I have the Titans going to be last place at a 4-13 record.
Okay.
So yes.
Whoa, 4-13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only one win better than last year.
Yeah. Because
you don't think Cam Ward's worth like an extra 2 wins?
I would love to say that, but I think you take Cam Ward out of the Titans, I think they're all exactly 2 wins then.
You take Cam Ward out, they're exactly what they were last year. That's what they are.
Oh, 3 wins. But
yeah.
I don't know. I gotta see it because it's this rookie year. I think the offense would be slightly better. The defense will be, but I think Cam Ward does go lights out. It's gonna be Joe Burrow's rookie year. It's not gonna finish like
correct.
It's gonna be like one of those seasons where the Titans are gonna like have a lot of these close wins, and I do think Cam Ward like does his job. The question is, does the other side of the ball do they do their job? So that's where a lot of the losses will come in, I believe.
Okay.
So yes.
Yes. I have Houston, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is still Houston's division to lose.
I agree.
They're I would say so here's an interesting stat for you. CJ Stroud is the only quarterback in probably the last decade at the very least to win 10+ games in his first 2 seasons. Not very easy. So the over-under is 9.5. I think that they'll easily top that. I did predict the record for the Texans. I think that they could go 11-6. I think that they will be.
I can see that too.
I think they're a slight improvement.
Yeah.
At the very least. Like, I'm a little worried about the O-line, but I think they retooled the receiving core. I think they finally, after week 13, I think they finally figured out their identity on offense. And, it took a little bit for them to figure that out. And that's probably why they didn't win as many games as people were hoping. But I think that they're still easily the best team in the AFC South. And, there is something we got to worry about, though. Joe Mixon's health. Now.
Yeah. But guess who's the backup?
Nick Chubb.
Yeah. So
Nick Chubb. I think, can Nick Chubb be what he was before he got hurt in Cleveland?
It's going to take time.
That's going to be what the Texans are going to hope for. And I think that we're going to see a resurgence from Nick Chubb.
I hate that out of any team. Why did the Texans pick him up? They're like the biggest troll for our organization. But that's another topic for another time. So the AFC West, I believe, is next.
It's a tough one. Who do you got?
So here's where the shocker comes in, Johnny Barrow.
Man.
So here's the thing. So I do think Kansas City will be well. I think they'll be all right. They'll make the playoffs. I believe they'll finish with a 12-5 record, but they're not number 1.
Okay.
I think number 1 goes to the Maha City. The Denver Broncos will finish 13-4, and I can look at the schedule if you want, but I think the Broncos will finish 13-4 as division winners. Then
I like it.
Chiefs will be Yeah, Chiefs will be 12-5. Chargers, they'll measly miss the playoffs, I believe, at an 8-9 record.
And that's hot.
Yeah, that's hot.
That's really hot.
And I thought you were going to say the Broncos one was hot, and then the Raiders will finish with a 4-13 record. So I think for the first time in almost a decade? No, it's been. I don't think it's a decade, but it's 8 years maybe. But like a new division winner will be crowned, and that will be the Denver Broncos. But yes, I think the Chargers. I'm not fully convinced with them. I think they're going to have a crazy offensive season. But I do think they managed to lose some games on their own, and so that's why I have them 8-9 as third place. But they're not that far from a wild card spot, so I really could be wrong. But yes, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders.
Okay. So I think that so the last time that we had a division winner that wasn't Kansas City was Peyton Manning's last year in Denver. So it's been pretty much a decade. It's been all Kansas City since then, and that counts Alex Smith's last 2 seasons with the Chiefs.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
I remember Alex Smith always taking the Chiefs to the wild card, but they always lose in the first round. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine being a Chargers or Raiders fan? Like, the division goes back to another team, and it's not what you get. But, no, that's why. I mean, I don't know what was your rankings again? What was your...
Yes. Yeah, I haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
That's amazing, though.
So, I would say this is the toughest that the division has been since Patrick Mahomes has been in the league. However, I still have them finishing number one. I think part of what makes this division so tough is the resumes of all four head coaches.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about guys that have either won the Super Bowl or, at the very least, Jim Harbaugh's case, made the Super Bowl and made multiple conference championships. So you've got a stacked lineup of great head coaches. I think Las Vegas finishes fourth. I do have Las Vegas number 4, Los Angeles number 3. They make the playoffs, and Denver is going to be 2. I think they're going to finish with a strong record, though. I think it'll be them and Kansas City neck and neck.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. I think they both trade off wins, yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate Denver going number 1 in your division rankings. However, it's the same case as eventually Mike Tomlin is going to have a losing record. Eventually Kansas City is going to lose the division. I'm just not going to predict it this year. So
I think this year Sean Payton, Bo Nix, Patrick Surtain, Cortland, like those guys Maha City, I think they managed to win a lot of games. And I think not even the best part too, because I'm not saying fans don't have an impact of winning, but the atmosphere definitely does. And I do believe since the fans are kind of getting this revival of this organization, I think these home games are going to be almost not as loud as Arrowhead is not what I'm trying to say, but it's going to be dynamic. They're going to walk into Maha City and like, wait, this is not what we walked into 4 or 5 years ago. It's going to be a completely different vibe.
No, for sure.
That's why I think the will changes, and I think the Denver Broncos are division winners of that division. So yeah.
Now I will say this: I don't know how everything falls for you in terms of the playoffs, but I'll say this: Denver gets the number 1 seed. That's going to be a very hard place to play in the playoffs. And it's been a very long time since they have hosted a playoff game. And I guarantee you nobody in the AFC wants to play in Denver in January.
I agree. So, which to that, if we're going to do AFC conference number 1, I do think it's going to be Bills, Broncos, Bengals, Texans, Chiefs, Patriots, Ravens. So, because Bills will be 15-2. That was my record prediction for them.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Denver, Cincinnati, Houston because they're division winner, and Kansas City, New England, and Baltimore. Which I want your thoughts on that. What's your thoughts on when a division winner has a lower record than even with some of these other teams that have a higher record? Like, how do you think they should reformat the playoffs, or they should like division winners get the top seeds?
I think that it should go to whoever has the top 4 records.
Yeah.
That's where I stand.
But then it makes it where the division is not as, I guess because the NBA doesn't do that, but NFL does and MLB.
Well, in that case, I would say you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. Yep. That's what I would say. I think that's the simplest solution. You make the playoffs, you did your thing, you were easily the best team in the division. However, this team had an overall better record. We believe that they deserve their flowers, and they deserve more credit for what they did in the regular season. So therefore, we're giving them a higher seed.
Yep.
So that's where I stand on that.
I agree with you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
So we are moving on to the NFC now, and we're going to, the NFC East.
You want me to go?
Chaos, bro. Go ahead.
So I have the Birds going number 1. Probably pretty obvious. Hold on.
Obvious
at a 14-3 record.
Whoa.
Yeah, no. Pretty high, but the schedule's not too bad. And so isn't the Commanders, because they'll be number 2 at a 12-5 record.
It's fine.
So I have the Commanders at number 2. Johnny, you're not gonna like this. And can I go over your schedule, or you don't want me to do that? Because
I'm good.
Okay.
Spare me.
I'll spare you, but the record's not gonna look pretty. But I do think Dallas, not only will you guys finish at 3rd, not last place, but 3rd.
Wow.
I think you guys will finish at a 5-12 record.
Still bad. Bad.
When I looked at your schedule, I'm like, oh gosh, Johnny, you were right about this last episode. I am looking at it. It's not pretty at all. And then I had the Giants. I don't think it's a hot take at all. People might think it is, but they'll be last. But the record might It might change. I still think they'll be last though. I have them at 1-16.
Whoa. That's awesome.
But
I love it.
I had the Giants at 1-16. They're not. Guess what? They're not the only team at 1-16. I'll tell you that later. But
I
I
was
had
about to say.
the Giants at 1-16. So yes, Eagles, Commanders both make the playoffs. Both top 2 in the division, and the Cowboys and Giants. I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm sorry. I had to.
It's all good. I understand. But yes, yeah, I was about to say, based on our last episode, I was about to say, wait, the Giants are going to be last, but that makes sense. If you have another team finishing 1-16, I get that.
Yeah.
But yes, the way that I have the NFC East going, I think the Commanders win the division because keep in mind, it's been 2 decades since we've had a repeat division winner in the NFC East. And
That's true. Since how long? How long?
Since like 2004.
Gosh.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's been a long time. So even when the Eagles won their first Super Bowl, they made the wild card. They did not win the division. That was
Dallas.
us.
Yeah.
That was us. We won the division that year. So that's enough. Once again, I'll believe it when I see it. It just hasn't happened yet. And I think the Commanders are good enough. They could win the division this year.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
the Eagles, I mean, you got Saquon Barkley, who has the Madden curse. Whether or not you believe that's a real thing, I don't necessarily believe in curses. I just think it's hilariously ironic how almost everybody that's on that stupid cover has a bad season or gets hurt. One or the other.
Who was the cover last year? Was it Christian McCaffrey?
It was indeed Christian
and
McCaffrey.
year before that was Josh Allen. There was back.
Josh Allen, it was a wash. Nothing happened.
Yeah, that's what it was like. Some years, I think.
Yeah.
Some years it works, some years it doesn't. But
yeah, Josh Allen, it didn't work. Tom Brady, it didn't work. Mahomes, it didn't work. So it's like we're talking about the best quarterbacks in the league. Like,
yeah,
it didn't work on them, but for a quarterback like Saquon, who, I mean, he's going into what, year 8, year 9, something like that. Like, I mean, it's very likely that he could get hurt behind that offensive line. Maybe not as likely as Christian McCaffrey, but I mean, I think that could happen. I don't think that the defense is going to be as strong as it was a year ago. They did lose some guys in free agency. So,
yeah.
And as far as the rest of the division goes, I got New York finishing 3 and Dallas last.
Wait, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least I got Giants under you guys.
I understand New York finishing 1-16. I would not put it past them if that did happen. However, I am very pessimistic about the Cowboys, and I am actually really hoping that we get the number 1 pick next year. Next division, we have the NFC North. This should be interesting.
So
I don't think we're going to agree on this one.
We might not.
I don't think we are.
Well, I have 3 teams here making the playoffs in this division.
3. Wow.
Yeah. And they're probably really obvious, but I do think the Detroit Lions are going to be once again NFC North winners. Yes.
Oh man.
Yes, they'll be number 1. And I could be wrong about the record, but either way, I think they're going to be number 1 at a 14-3 record. They're like, what the heck? Yes, I think the Lions, I think Dan Campbell, I think they'll do a great job once again like they did last season, except for I think they'll go further. I have the Green Bay Packers going number 2. Oh,
okay.
Thank you. At 11-6 record. And I have the Minnesota Vikings finishing 10-7, coming 3rd in their division. However, I do think these top 3 teams make the playoffs, and the Bears finish 6-11. Sorry, Ben Johnson.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I hate this so much.
You hate it?
I hate all of it. We disagreed on the North for the AFC. Oh, man, this one's bad.
It's just the North divisions.
I really do not like this one, man. So, number 1, even before the Micah Parsons trade happened, I had the Packers winning this division. And one thing that I forgot to mention with the Texans, the main reason that I picked the Texans to win the AFC South, and the same reason why I'm picking the Packers to win the NFC North, is I really value continuity. And with the other 3 teams, there's just not as much continuity as you have with Green Bay. You have Jordan Love. You have Matt LaFleur. You got Jeff Halfley as DC. You've got a lot of the same pieces, plus Micah Parsons, who can elevate your defense to that next level that you've been wanting. And I do want to note real quick about Green Bay. They've had a very interesting offseason. Not a traditional Packers offseason by any stretch.
Yeah.
So
first time drafting a receiver since I don't know when, but
like 2002.
Yeah, I saw that whenever draft night when they all got excited when they were drafting Matthew Golden, and they were like, I didn't know the statistic of them first time drafting a wide receiver since 2002. I'm like, what? That's insane. Ooh, a receiver number one.
It's crazy.
I thought that was wow. I didn't know that. So hey, kudos to them. I do think, however, look, they could flip flop. I do think these top three teams make the playoffs, though. I'll say that. So, yes.
So, yes, Packers number one. I do have Detroit finishing number two. They're not going to be as strong as they were a year ago. I am anxious to see how this team, maybe not anxious, that would be my friend who's a diehard Lions fan who actually thinks that they're going to miss the playoffs. I'm not gonna go that far. I think they're gonna make the playoffs again. I think winning 14 games is a bit of a stretch. I got them winning about 10, 11 games. They're still going to make the playoffs. They're still a solid team. I would take their roster over the majority of the NFL. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to look like without Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. It's going to, once again, I think that's going to be the main reason why they don't finish 15-2, because those coordinators were so good and so important. But again, I trust Dan Campbell. I trust the culture. I trust the roster. I think they're back in the playoffs. As far as third and fourth, I do have the Bears finishing third. I really love Ben Johnson going to the Bears. I think he's going to get the most that he can out of Caleb Williams. I'm looking forward to seeing him reunite with DeAndre Swift. They retooled the offensive line. The defense was already good. I think that the Bears, they're not making the playoffs, but I think this could be similar to when the Detroit Lions went 9-8, 2022. They're going to be at the doorstep. They're going to be right there. So the biggest question is going to be, can Ben Johnson set a culture? We know that he can call plays. We know that he can lead an elite offense. But can he change the Bears culture? And I mean, I think so far the answer has to be yes. I mean, he is unequivocally better than what they had last year. And as far as Minnesota goes, listen, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast yet, but you will not find a bigger JJ McCarthy hater this side of the Mississippi. I do not think that he is what the Vikings want us to believe he is. I think they made a mistake letting Sam Darnold go.
I agree. Thank you. I agree. I have a friend of mine who's a Vikings fan, and he's like, "No, we don't need Sam Darnold." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Like, I know you guys were
sure?
I know you guys were a first round exit, but like, still, like, you guys did a lot with this quarterback.
Y'all won 14 games.
14 games with Sam Darnold.
14.
If you told me that 3 years ago that Sam Darnold won 14 games, oh man, I would have thought you were like intoxicated.
Listen,
that's wild.
If Sam Darnold were still the quarterback, the Vikings would be my division winner. Absolutely.
I wouldn't go that far.
Continuity. Sam Darnold, Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores, Justin Jefferson, they're all still there. The only difference is JJ. And I don't know if he can fit Kevin O'Connell's offense. This guy comes from a run-first offense. He was carried by Blake Corum and the best offensive line in all of college football. I'm sorry. I'm not sold on him. And I'm especially not sold on him after the injury and all of that went down. I mean, it set him back. It sucks, but I think I'm just not high on him at all. And I think right out the gate, you're going to see, we get Chicago and Minnesota next week. And if you don't know, I already have a dog in that fight. I'm taking Chicago.
You're taking Chicago. Wait, Chicago number 3?
I'm taking Chicago number 3, and I'm taking Chicago to win next week on Monday night.
I do think it's one of those seasons for the Bears where it's like, okay, now we're slightly getting somewhere. We kind of have an idea where we want to be at. I think 2026 is when maybe, hopefully, with some good draft picks, good offseason, they could be higher up in the division. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was do you think that game destroyed their momentum? Because they were like 5-2 like that they went on a like I think 6-game losing streak, something like that. And I was just like, that is rough. Um
Lucky last year, but I think that's where Ben Johnson is going to come in handy. I think that
mm,
there's a wide gap between him and Matt Eberflus. So
mm.
I'm probably more high on the Bears than most people, but I mean, hey, I don't have them making the playoffs, so there's that.
Yeah. The Bears
So
have they don't have a Thanksgiving game, which by the way I just realized I'm looking forward to that Thanksgiving slot, not gonna lie. Chiefs and Cowboys.
yeah, I'm
So-
not looking forward to that
sorry.
second game at
Sorry.
all.
But I think that Packers and Lions game for Thanksgiving is gonna be a really good cinema
That'll be
game.
great. That'll be awesome.
I'll be looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, could decide the division.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on to the NFC South.
All right.
I'm
NFC
excited for
South.
this one.
All right. Let me get it. Let me get all ready and prepped up. But still, I believe. You know what's surprising though, because I know we live here in Florida. There's a lot of some people are pessimistic about the Bucks. I am not, however. I do think they become number one in their division.
Okay.
I think they come number one with a 12-5 record.
Wow. Oh.
And I'll go into depth if you want. I'll tell them why. But I think Bucks managed to pull some upsets. I think their defense is going to be much better than last year. However, I think it's however Todd Bowles wants to call
I
the
agree.
game.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's going to be Bucks at 12-5,
Okay.
Falcons at 10-7. Yeah, I know it's high for the Falcons. I don't know if some fans, but I'm not worried about the Panthers or Saints if I was in that division. So I have the Panthers
Mm.
actually going 6-11, and I have the Saints going 1-16.
Golly,
Yeah,
there's the other one.
that's the other 1 and
I knew
16
it was
team.
coming. I knew it.
But the Bucks' schedule is actually not that bad. I do think they pull off some like an upset or two, and because mainly if they're at home. But they have back-to-back away games, which that's kind of sucks to start off the season. They have back-to-back away games against the Falcons and Texans. They win both of those games.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they host New York Jets and the
I'm cool
Philadelphia
with that. I
Eagles.
don't agree with it, but I'm cool with it.
Because you're a Bucks fan, that's right.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
They host the Jets. They host the Eagles. Guess what? They win both of those.
Okay.
And they beat Seattle in
We
Seattle.
better win the throwback game.
Oh yeah. And then they lose at home against the Niners week 6. Then they lose against the Lions away. But here's the cool part. They play the Saints in New Orleans. Don't gotta worry about that. It's week 8. They beat the Saints. Got a bye week. They beat the Patriots at home. They beat the Bills at Bills territory. Here's a little something for you. But they lose to LA Rams in week 12. I had them. And they beat the Cardinals Saints back-to-back weeks. The Falcons get their get back, beating the Bucks
Okay.
in Tampa Bay. So Atlanta
Okay.
wins in Tampa
Fair.
Bay, and I do think the Panthers beat the Bucks in Week 16 when they're home, when the Panthers are home. However, I think the Bucks are going to be like, "Hey, we got this." Then they beat the Dolphins in Miami, and then they beat the Panthers back at home. So that's why I
All
have
right.
them going 12-5.
I like it.
That's why I have them getting some upsets, but I do think Baker Mayfield and this team they will manage to go far. But the playoffs is a little bit where it gets shaky. So
Yeah.
yes, that's my prediction, man.
Yeah. Again, little ticky tacky. I mean, I certainly got Tampa going to the playoffs. I have them winning the division, but I am a little worried about how the first few weeks are going to go without Tristan Wirfs, because that's one of the best. That's one of the best left tackles in football, and Baker's going to be without him for a little bit. So I'm very curious to see, especially with a new offensive coordinator. I'm curious to see how that's going to work.
Who's the
First,
OC?
Josh Grizzard.
Okay,
Yeah, that was Liam Cohen's right-hand man last
that's
year,
right.
and he was in charge of our third down offense, which, shout out, best third down offense in the league. So
Yeah.
that helps. But yeah, I'm a little more pessimistic as far as the first month goes, but at the end of the day, I think this is a playoff team. I think they win their 5th straight division title, which is a franchise record. I mean, we broke the franchise record like a couple years ago. It's just going to keep going from here.
There you go.
But as far as the rest of the division goes, you know what's funny? I looked at First Things First Instagram, and all 3 of the main guys, Nick, Brew, and Danny all picked Tampa, Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans all to finish in those standings. And is that how you picked it?
You said Tampa, Atlanta, Carolina, New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I picked them.
That's how you picked it.
Yep.
Okay. If everybody is picking that to be the official standings, I'm sorry, but something's got to give. Okay. One of those is going to be wrong.
Interesting. What is that?
So mine is different. So let's just get one thing out the way real quick. Mm-hmm. Get two things out the way. Tampa's finishing first. New Orleans is finishing last. We can all agree with that, I think, for the most part. It's the middle where I'm a little bit more different. So I actually have the Panthers finishing second and the Falcons finishing third. And the reason being, I think the gap between Carolina and Atlanta is a lot more narrow than people think. And if you watched the last regular season game last year, Falcons needed to win to make the playoffs. And who spoiled their potential playoffs? Carolina. And Carolina scored big time.
Which team got in that was in Atlanta when they were Atlanta?
Was
it Minnesota?
Well, that was actually for the division. So it was.
That's right.
Yes.
So Tampa could have missed it if Atlanta won.
Tampa could have missed it. Exactly.
Okay.
So we either needed to beat New Orleans or we needed Carolina to beat Atlanta, and we got both. I believe in the chemistry between Bryce Young and Dave Canales. I think Bryce Young is going to take that next step. They're not going to make the playoffs. However, I do see Dave Canales as a potential Coach of the Year candidate. Not saying he's going to win, but he's going to be up there. I think what he did last year spoke volumes about how good of a coach that this guy is. He obviously elevated Geno Smith. He elevated Baker Mayfield. And then last year, he elevated Bryce Young, who we all thought was a big-time bust. And, I mean, all it takes is one good season, and this guy could be one of the most expensive quarterbacks in the NFL. A year, maybe not next year, but 2 years from now.
Here's the thing, though, with me. I don't know if it's a hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take for you or for a lot of people, but I'm not going to lie. I'd rather take a Michael Penix Jr. led team right now than Bryce Young, as of right now. I mean, my mind could probably, and the answer will change by the end of the season, but right now I'm more confident in Michael Penix than I am Bryce Young.
And
is that fair to say?
Crazy. And here's something crazy. I love Michael Penix. He was my favorite quarterback prospect last year. You want to know what the biggest difference for me is?
What?
He has Raheem Morris as his head coach, who I am not a big fan of at all.
You think he's better than Arthur Smith?
I think that Dave Canales is better than both.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I think.
I'm just more surprised. Whenever Atlanta first hired Arthur Smith, I was just kind of like, okay.
I think, I mean, shoot, you saw the Washington game last year. I think Raheem Morris is, I guess, a slightly better version of Matt Eberflus. Like he belongs as a coordinator. He's not a head coach.
There's some people that doesn't translate well. Like Matt Patricia, for example. I remember when he was head coach of the Lions.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't that good at all.
Yeah, but that was painful.
Sometimes it's better to be a coordinator.
Lions fans.
Yeah. But last division.
The wild NFC West.
Yep.
I'm curious. I'm very curious on this one. Go ahead, Irving.
So it could be a hot take, maybe not. But I do think Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive mind in the NFL. West Coast offense, one of the best offenses in the league as of today. I have the 49ers taking the division.
Wow.
At a 13-4 record. And it's actually not that bad, Johnny. And then I have no other than – here's two teams that I do think that could trade off the spots. I think it becomes Rams or Seahawks. I think Rams will finish second by a slight, and then Seattle will finish third by a slight. Those two could be a swap either or. And I have the Cardinals coming in last at a 3-14 record. So, Johnny –
3-14, wow.
That's
bad. I don't know about that.
I don't think the Arizona Cardinals will be a good team, but I do think at least for
I don't
sure.
think they're great, but they're not 3-14 bad. I don't know about that.
I don't think that Cardinals team is going to be like anywhere close to being kind of what they used to be years ago. But I think this team is going to be kind of mediocre. The record might be kind kind of shocking, but I do think they definitely finished last in that division.
Oh man, wow, yeah, me too.
Oh, you do?
But
Okay.
yeah. Spoiler alert: I think Arizona's finishing fourth. It's the other three that we disagree with.
Talk to me.
Oh man, all right. I'm gonna go on a little soapbox here in a minute.
Okay.
About your divisional pick, but number one, I have Los Angeles taking the division.
Okay.
I am really, really high on the Rams, man. I've been high on the Rams for quite a minute now, and I'm going to be high on them again this year. And you're going to find out down the line where I have them finishing. So Seattle, I actually have finishing second. This is actually, wait, hold on. San Francisco finished last year. Okay, so got it. So I have Los Angeles 1, Arizona 4. I have Seattle second.
What?
I have Seattle second, and then I have San Francisco at third. I think, and let me explain the whole thing with San Francisco.
Do tell.
Because just yesterday, not even that long ago, I was driving and, I was pretty bullish on the Cardinals all season long. I said, if there's one team in the entire NFL that I feel like could go from worst to first, it's the Niners. That's what I was convinced on. They're going to get Christian McCaffrey back. I mean, Brandon Ayuk will come back later in the year. Robert Saleh's back. I mean, all is well in San Francisco. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, this team might actually be a lot closer to 2024 than 2023. And here's why. Christian McCaffrey, as good as that guy is, man, that dude has a lot of mileage. He's 29 years old. He's been dealing with injuries a lot last year. Who knows? Maybe some of those injuries are still lingering. I wouldn't put it past him if it's still there because he is, by running back standards, an old head.
Yeah.
And I think Brandon Ayuk, he was not playing well before he got injured. And I don't know if he got cocky because of the extension that he had taken and his work ethic got worse or what it was. But he was not the guy that we saw in 2023 before he got injured. And who's to say that he's going to be the same even when he comes back, whether that's week 5, week 6. So you look at their receiving core. I mean, I think you got to say George Kittle's their number one target. George Kittle is a great tight end. In my opinion, best tight end in football. The most complete tight end, can block, can catch, just a great dude all around. But he is getting up there in age. He is in his 30s now. And then you look at the actual receivers in the 49ers organization. You've got Jawan Jennings, who behind Deebo Samuel and behind Brandon Ayuk, great number 3 receiver. But Deebo Samuel is gone. Brandon Ayuk has to recover from the injury still. And it's between him and Ricky Pearsall as the one. Ricky Pearsall, this is the reason why you drafted him 1. And I think, honestly, they thought that they were going to stick with one of the 2 receivers, whether it was Ayuk or Deebo Samuel. Obviously, Deebo goes out. But then, unfortunately, Brandon Ayuk gets hurt. I don't think Pearsall is a 1, and Jawan Jennings is definitely not a 1.
I think, here's the thing, though. I do think Jawan and Ricky are going to be like I don't know how to explain it. I think they'll be a decent receiving duo. I don't think they're the worst receiving room in the league. However, I do believe in somewhat Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan. The reason why is because, and I could be wrong about this. History could prove me wrong. But the thing with Kyle Shanahan is that I think he could take a Dick's Sporting Goods worker and make them great. And the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of times you could really just, I'm not saying mean anyone, but I really think Kyle Shanahan and this offense is going to manage to work when Christian McCaffrey comes back. I mean, to be fair, I never forget when I believe it was Deebo Samuel, but do you remember when Raheem Mostert used to play for the Niners?
I do. Raheem was great.
Raheem
was awesome.
Oh yeah, and now he's kind of. Is he still with the Dolphins? Where is he at right now? I haven't really.
He is. I think he's with the Raiders now.
I haven't heard much from him. So I mean, even then, I think this offense will be fine. Which I had them going number 1. Maybe the record's blowing over proportion for them, but Here's the thing, though. I don't think anyone from this division is going to make an appearance in the NFC Championship game. So there's that.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah,
don't, so that's, I don't know.
disagree there.
Really? Oh, okay. I cannot wait
Yeah,
to go
well,
there.
we'll
Yeah.
get there. I
All
disagree
right.
there.
Absolutely. So,
But with San Francisco, going back to them, I just think a lot of things have to go right in order for them to be at even close to what they were a couple years ago. Because, yes, it wasn't that long ago that they were a Super Bowl contender. However, this Super Bowl window for Kyle Shanahan has been open for quite some time, and he just hasn't locked it up yet. And I think Brock Purdy, I don't know, man. I love Brock Purdy. I think that he is a good quarterback, might be the best quarterback to ever play in this system for Kyle Shanahan. However, you're asking for a lot for Christian McCaffrey to stay healthy, and I do believe that it is important that he stays healthy for the majority of the year. Because say he goes down, last year they had Jordan Mason, who remarkable story, undrafted free agent, leading the league in rushing. They let him go. He is no longer on the team. Like, what are we doing, y'all? What are we doing? And also, San Francisco, I don't know if you've noticed, but the last 4 years, as far as drafting first-round quarterbacks or even day one or day two picks, it has not been friendly for the Niners. They have not nailed their picks. The last pick that they nailed on day one or day two, Brandon Ayuk. That's it. And Brandon Ayuk is currently recovering from last year's injury. So that is probably one of my hottest takes of the year. Everybody believes that San Francisco is going to make a comeback. I do not. Even with a schedule that is, for the most part, fairly easy. They should make the playoffs. I just don't think they're going to capitalize.
I think they will, but we'll see towards the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes,
right.
Awards.
Let's get to the NFL honors.
Let's do it.
Irving, who is the offensive rookie of the year?
This rookie is going to be a guy who has absolutely he will absolutely take on the load with his team, with his franchise, already kind of being a leader. And I think it's going to be no other than Mr. Cam Ward as the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think he is going to, like I said before in an earlier episode, that I think Kyle really. I'm not saying he's going to be elite. I do think he is wide receiver one. However, I think Cam Ward is going to make him be great. I believe this offense is going to make it work. They're going to lose a lot of games purely because of their defense, and but I do think Cam Ward will be Offensive Rookie of the Year. What about you?
Yes, I love that pick. It's not my pick, but I mean, I thought about it for the longest time, and I mean, I just didn't settle on it because I just feel that much more convicted on another guy. You know, we're both high on the Broncos, okay. I can see today. I was high on the Broncos, but it's nice to know that you're high on the Broncos as well.
Absolutely.
And one reason I'm really high on the Broncos is a guy that they drafted this year. A guy named R.J. Harvey, a running back
I like that
from
pick.
UCF. That is probably, in my mind, that is this year's Bucky Irving. I think that
that's a good comparison.
I think that Sean Payton has a type. If you've paid any attention to his offenses over the years, over almost 20 seasons of being a head coach, you go all the way back to his first year in New Orleans. Who did he have? Reggie Bush. And then about a decade later, who did he have? Alvin Kamara. And now he has R.J. Harvey. What do they all have in common? They're all fast, dynamic, can catch out of the backfield. Dude, I think that this is a perfect fit. This is going to be a great marriage between Peyton and Harvey. I think that he is going to be the main reason why Nix improves upon his rookie season and doesn't have a sophomore slump. And this is going to be the type of guy, once again, this is going to be the Bucky Irving of this year, because teams are going to ask themselves for 2 months from now, maybe a month from now, how did we let this guy slip?
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, what pick was he earlier?
He was in the third round.
Oh, wow.
third, second round, one of those two. So
Well,
day 2 pick.
I'm really excited for my defensive rookie of the year because I do think
Oh,
he's
I'm
going to be
curious.
one of the best rookies of the year. But I'm just going to have to say he was selected in the first round. I think he's going to be absolutely electric, and I think I'm going to have to go with the Edge. But I do think it's going to be Jalen Walker. I think Jalen Walker would be defensive
Jalen
rookie
Walker,
of the year.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
defensive rookie of the year. He was a great pick, and I thought he's also kind of been one of the shining lights a little bit of the Georgia Bulldogs. Made that defense look really good. Too bad Carson Beck couldn't do much with it, but
Nope.
other than that, Jalen Walker, I believe we have the same middle name too. I just found that out. Jalen Nicholas Walker. So
Wow.
I believe he's going to be this upcoming season's defensive rookie of the year.
Okay. Wow. I like that pick. I haven't heard many people pick Jalen Walker. I like that.
All right.
Cool. I've got a little bit more of a bold prediction as well. A lot of people, people are going to be looking at us crazy thinking, why did you not pick Abdul Carter? Well, first of all, I don't usually like going chalk. That's first and foremost, unless I'm that convicted that he's going to be the guy. And second of all, I just think that it's going to be very easy for Abdul Carter to get lost in the amount of talent that's on that Giants defensive line. He's going to be phenomenal, no doubt about it. I think he's the right guy for the Giants and that he's going to make his presence known. However, I do not think that he is going to make an immediate impact as the best defensive lineman on the Giants roster. Now, as for who I'm picking, let me just say this. In 2023, I hate to remind you, Irving, but in 2023, Mike McDonald led the number 1 defense in 2023 with the Baltimore Ravens. And one of his key players that year, and a guy who continues to be a key player for this Ravens squad, is Kyle Hamilton. And Mike McDonald has since transitioned to the Seattle Seahawks. He is going into his second year, and they drafted a guy from South Carolina by the name of, I think I'm pronouncing this right, Nick Emenwari. And I take a look at this guy, and I would say Kyle Hamilton is his comp. Lean, tall, strong. You can use him in the back end of your defense. You can use him as, I think they call it a will linebacker. They're going to use him like in the box. This is the type of guy that Mike McDonald wants on his defense. I think he's going to make his presence felt very early. Seattle's going to need it. Their defense was okay last year, not quite 2023 Baltimore, but I think they take that next step this year. And that's another reason why I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to finish ahead of the San Francisco 49ers is Mike McDonald is getting closer to building the culture that he wants with Seattle.
Yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick really much. I think it's funny because I thought you were going to say someone obvious, but some people were talking already about defensive rookie year could go both to Travis Hunter, and I don't think it will.
Oh, Travis Hunter too.
Can he get both of them? I don't think he will, unless
That's the thing. What is he going to do?
Exactly.
I don't know. Yes, if he would pick one, I probably would, but I can't. I don't know what he's going to do.
So we got to see it until we believe it. But other than that, I think Jalen Walker is going to be an underrated player. I believe.
I think he will be too. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's my picks. What's the next one?
Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh, okay. Here's a guy. Let me see if I got it right here.
Who are you, Chris Collinsworth? Now here's a guy.
That's funny.
For Offensive Player of the Year. So this has become a receiver/running back award over the years. Probably, I think Patrick Mahomes, if I'm not mistaken, is the last quarterback to have won this award. But since then, it seems like MVP has become a quarterback award, the same as Offensive Player of the Year has become a receiver and running back award. And it's been a different player every year since Mahomes, and I'm going to go with somebody who people might think I'm a little biased, but I think that considering the circumstances for the beginning of the season, I think that he is going to be front and center as the Offensive Player of the Year for his odds. I'm going to roll with Bucky Irving, who is going to be the lead back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He only started 3 games last year. It was Rashad White, who was our number 1 running back last year, and Bucky Irving came in relief, and he did fantastic. I think this year you got to go into the season with him as your lead back. He's unequivocally the best back on the team, and I think because Tristan Wirfs is injured, you're going to have to lean into Bucky Irving and the amount of rushes that he's going to take, and I just think that he's due for a bigger year than his rookie year.
The reason why I'm so high on the Lions, the offensive line, but I do think it's going to go to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's going to get Offensive Player of the Year. Not only that, I really do think he's going to go lights out with Montgomery. Now, people are going to, it's obviously like Gibbs is kind of RB1A and then Montgomery's RB1B, if that makes sense. I do think Gibbs is going to be absolute electric for the Lions. It's going to make that the running game even higher. Jared Goff may not have to throw a lot, but here's the thing, though. I do think the offensive line is going to protect much better than last year. And I have the Gibbs, Jahmyr Gibbs. Sorry, it's Jahmyr Gibbs. It's Jahmyr Gibbs winning Offensive Player of the Year.
That was actually going to be my pick before I
really
ultimately picked Irving. I really wanted to pick him. I just think he's going to be slightly worse than he was last year. And last year, he was great last year. He was phenomenal. It's going to be very hard to replicate those numbers. I'm not saying he can't do it, but last year, if we're being honest, the main reason he lost is he didn't have nearly as good a year as Saquon. That's the only reason why.
Yes. So, and I don't think Saquon's going to have a good year from last year. Not just because of the Madden curse, but that's why.
I think that's realistic. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a good pick, but I'm still got to roll with my guy, Bucky. Yep. So then we're going to Defensive Player of the Year. Irving, who do you have?
As much as I want to always say Myles Garrett every year, I love him to death. It could be him, maybe not, who knows. But the thing with Myles Garrett is that from being a fan of him, he goes amazing. He goes crazy the first 10 games of the season, and then he kind of falls a little bit below. He's a little bit tired towards the end of the season. Here's someone that's going to kind of, build not only his spirit up. I think this player, not because he's on a new team, but I think because he has some help. I think Michael Parsons should be the favorite, and I believe Michael Parsons will win Defensive Player of the Year. Being with that Packers defense, being somewhere you can kind of just do whatever you want now. I mean, Michael Parsons is going to go off. I think he's going to lead that Packers to, if not, they're going to be a top 3, if not number 1 defense of the NFL. So I do think Michael Parsons is going to be a big reason of that. I have him as Defensive Player of the Year. And yeah, that's my take, man.
I love the pick. I absolutely love that pick. That's not my pick, but honestly, I didn't even think about that. I really didn't. He hasn't won yet. That's the thing. And I think that this is going to be very similar to when Khalil Mack was traded to the Bears weeks before the season kicked off. And Khalil Mack that season won Defensive Player of the Year. He was an absolute beast. And he made his presence felt right away. If you remember that kickoff game against the Packers, he was making plays like crazy. I'm like, dude, he might be the best defensive player in the NFL, and he was for a little bit. But for me, it's a guy who was a rookie last year, and it's going to be the reigning defensive rookie of the year. I'm rolling with Jared Verse from the Rams. And people are going to wonder, don't you need a lot of sacks to be Defensive Player of the Year? He only had 4.5. Yes, he only had 4.5, but here's the number that really matters. This man, in the regular season and the postseason combined, the Rams played in 2 playoff games. This man had 89 pressures, which was number 1 in the NFL. Not number 1 amongst rookies, number 1 in the entire league.
That's amazing.
And I think a lot of people were predicting a Rams fall off after the sudden retirement of Aaron Donald. And yes, you lose a guy like that. It's going to be hard to replace him. Jared Verse has filled in for that defense the defense never fell off at all. Like they're just picking up right where they left off. And I think that's exactly what Verse is going to do. I think that he is going to be the reason why they remain a viable defense. Verse is already, in my opinion, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. This guy is a monster. This guy, no, you know something? Teron Armstead, who recently retired, he said part of the reason why he's no longer in the NFL, he doesn't want to have to guard Jared Verse.
Oh, wow.
That's part of the reason why. Imagine being so good that you force a guy into retirement.
Wait, who again? Sorry, repeat that again.
As a rookie, Teron Armstead, the former Dolphins left tackle.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Crazy, dude.
Jared Verse.
Absolutely
that's
insane.
a good pick. I was going to ask you, too. I mean, well, I think we'll get into it later, but when it comes to sacks, do you think sacks, and I guess interceptions, do you think they should be as a huge pivotal part when it comes to defensive player of the year? It's because I have the same argument with Myles Garrett and TJ Watt all the time with Steelers fans. And I do think because Myles Garrett leads the freaking league and being triple team, and he still managed to get still as getting up there in sacks and pressures. And I think the crazy thing is that, let me ask you this, Johnny, too. First, do sacks you think play a pivotal part in defensive player of the year? And are you more scared if you're an offensive lineman? Are you more scared of TJ Watt or Myles Garrett? Be honest.
Oh, at this point, Myles Garrett. Myles.
I tell it to people all the time, and they're usually like, "No, more sacks, TJ Watt. He's a Watt brother, all this stuff. He's a great, phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong. That's why I always put Myles Garrett above him. But I'm biased, so
I do think that needs to be taken into consideration, dude. That's what they did with Aaron Donald. Like they had to double and triple team him all the time because he was unequivocally the best defensive player in the NFL.
He has 3 of those, right? I believe 3.
He has 3, and I mean, I think the Rams are very fortunate that they got a guy that. I'm not going to say of his caliber. He's not there yet, but a guy who could very well be one of the 5 best defensive players already in the game. 5 or 10.
Absolutely.
10 at least. I'll say that.
Yeah.
We have a new award this year in the NFL. This is an interesting one, and some people are going to think this one's a little bit boring, but this one actually fascinates me. It's the Protector of the Year award, which is given to the best offensive lineman in the NFL, and I'm very curious who you have as your selection.
Well, I don't know if this is obvious or not, but I think this is someone who's a phenomenal right tackle for the Detroit Lions, and if I can pronounce his name right, it's Penei Sewell. I think that's his name, Penei Sewell.
Yes,
and
great player.
He is great player, great right tackle, and I think he's gonna absolute pancake everyone. if there's a pancake count, I do think he takes the most, but I think he's also been a big part of that offense because. I mean, let's be honest. Offensive linemen, they're like the unsung heroes in an offense and in a team. They keep that chain going. So
Absolutely.
I think if because it's the first kind of new award to the NFL honors, I'm gonna give it to the obvious if that's obvious enough. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to him, Penei Sewell.
All right, let's go. So my Protector of the Year is another guy who was a rookie last year, and right out the gate, I mean he's looking like one of the better offensive linemen in the league. Now, unfortunately, about a month and a half ago, the Chargers were met with some terrible news about their left tackle, Rashawn Slater, who is going to be out for the season due to a training camp injury. And, that stings because this is a team who, I mean, maybe this is part of why you think that the Chargers are going to miss the playoffs, but a guy like him going out before the season even starts, that really hurts. I mean, as a Tampa fan, like I feel like we're very lucky that Tristan Wirfs is not out for the season. That we only have to miss at the very least. So he's off the physically unable to perform list. So it could be Sunday, but I don't think that it's going to be Sunday.
Give it like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe
2 or 3 weeks, probably. But yeah, the Chargers, they drafted a guy last year, 5th overall, Joe Alt, who was the right tackle last year, but he will be asked to be the left tackle and replace Rashawn Slater. I think that this guy is going to do exactly what he's supposed to do because at the end of the day, this guy was a left tackle when he played for Notre Dame. And, a lot of people scrutinized the Chargers last year for taking Joe Alt instead of Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors. Like, why are you going with the lineman? You should draft a receiver. Justin Herbert's going to have no weapons. Guys, this is why.
Yeah.
This is why the Chargers did it. And also Jim Harbaugh. He loves offensive linemen. He's not drafting a receiver in the first round. That's just not who he is.
Yeah.
He wants to run the ball. So here's some stats for you. So
Okay.
Joe Alt, as a left tackle, in his last 2 seasons combined, allowed 8 pressures.
Oh, wow. God.
That's it. This dude is a tank.
What does that rank amongst the league? I'm just curious. Is that number 1? Or is that
for college football, gotta be number 1. Gotta
yeah.
be. Like, I mean, this dude was the 5th overall pick for a reason. He's huge. He's 6'8". I think this guy is going to be the reason why the Chargers offense doesn't take a step backwards. I think it's huge that he's coming in place. If they had drafted a receiver, their season would be over. But Joe Alt filling in for Rashawn Slater at left tackle, this offense, I have no worries.
Yeah, I really do I get not the hate, but when people make fun of a team for selecting a offensive lineman in the first round, I think more times than not it works out. But sometimes you get unlucky. I forgot who the Bengals drafted a couple years ago, but they drafted an offensive lineman and they kind of clowned the team because he didn't turn out to be as well as they thought he would be. I forgot his name, but I remember that. But offensive linemen are the most, of course, underrated unsung heroes of the league. They keep the offense going. That's the reason why we watch football, entertainment.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Comeback player of the year.
Whew. I don't think it's a hot take for me. I do think he's going to come back. I have 2, though.
You have 2, okay.
I have 2, but I have one that's most likely I think is going to get it. The other one is, for circumstances. I do think this person, even though I did not like the college where they came from, however, I can't deny that he's an electric player, and I have to go with Aiden Hutchinson for the Detroit Lions. Yes, maybe I'm a Lions glazer this entire podcast. Maybe this is what your friend needs to hear.
You're going with everybody on the Lions, man.
I know. I'm really confident.
You're super high.
I mean, look, if I'm going to be root for a team that's, dealt from poverty, at least, Lions kind of bring some hope in that, I guess. We share a little common, similar interest experience. But I do think Aiden Hutchinson will win Comeback Player of the Year because he's also could be a favorite to be Defensive Player of the Year. And I think he's going to, if he goes back to where he was or even slightly better, I think he wins that. However, my second pick for Comeback Player of the Year, this is if kind of like what you told me earlier, if he goes back to playing this mode because he's running for his life and he has to throw as much as he can, you're going to hate me on this, but I think Dak Prescott could maybe. Yes, I say the Cowboys can get 4 or 5 wins. Sure. However, if he's electric, if he somehow, managed to do what he can with the offense, don't forget about the defense, the team. Forget about the team because it's just a player award, right? If he could put up those numbers, also because he's in my fantasy football team as a quarterback, so I need him to. If he does, then I do think he could potentially get it. Other than that, I do think the award will most likely go to Aiden Hutchinson. So, sorry about that.
Yeah, good pod, everybody. It was nice while it lasted. Oh, man. Anyways, Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, I like that pick. That's a really good pick. I think if he does return to the form that he did before he got hurt, which I think is likely, he's still young, and as long as the Lions don't rush him back, I think that he very well could win Comeback Player of the Year. I like that pick, but I'm going to roll with Justin Fields. That's who I'm rolling with for Comeback Player of the Year, who has not had a great start to his NFL career. This is only season 5 for him. So, I mean, he's still young, but I think that he's the next in line to have a career resurgence because you look at the guys that have had a career resurgence the last 3 years. We had Geno Smith in 22, Baker Mayfield in 23, and then last year we had Sam Darnold. I think that Justin Fields is potentially on the best roster that he's been on in his entire NFL career.
Mm.
I think that Aaron Glenn is going to change the Jets culture. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but I like him having Breece Hall in the backfield. I like him throwing to Garrett Wilson. The offensive line has massively improved in the last few years. I think Justin Fields very well. I mean, he looked good last year in Pittsburgh. He wasn't awesome, but he did look serviceable, I would say. I think he's going to be a couple steps above serviceable. So I'm going to go with him as my comeback player of the year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year. I'm going to let you hit that one.
You're going to let me get this one?
Yeah.
I feel like we might be in agreement.
Okay.
I feel like we're going to be in agreement.
Talk to
me.
So
this is a weird award because the best coach does not usually win Coach of the Year. It's usually a team who not a whole lot of people are high on. Some people might have them as a sleeper, and not that the coach is a bad coach, but he's a good coach, but we probably weren't giving them that much credit before the season started. But I do believe that the coach of the year for 2025 is going to be Mike Vrabel, who is coming back home to the New England Patriots, who he was a great player. He's on his second team now, and I think he has a chance to change the culture immediately. This roster is top to bottom better than it was in 2024, and we've seen Mike Vrabel turn the lowly Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans letting go of Mike Vrabel is one of the dumbest decisions they'll ever make, because I think this is an elite coach.
I 100% agree with you, Johnny Barrow.
Woo!
That was my pick too. Mike, it's crazy. We were
Let's go.
Looking. So I was like, let me let you go first because I have a feeling. I thought you were going to say someone else, and I was going to hit you with the Mike Vrabel, but looks like we both agreed on that.
Absolutely.
There's Mike Vrabel is a great pick. I believe that's the reason why I think Patriots are going to win 11 games. So I mean, yes. I could be crazy about that, but I think Mike Vrabel is going to come back to New England, bring back that culture that once was when he was a player, but even afterwards, once Tom Brady and Belichick left. Because they have a little, they had like a little pause in, their franchise. It must feel weird to come out from a dynasty and just be like mediocre. But other than that, I think this team, I'm excited to see what this team is going to do. What?
You should ask Alabama fans how they feel about that. Oh, man.
You must be so happy about
something. That. Oh, man. I couldn't be more happy, bro.
Oh, I bet, bro.
Oh, it's a really good week to be a Seminoles fan, let me tell you.
And you know what? I don't blame you at all because, I mean...
and a really bad week to be a Bama fan.
They have a lot of national championship. They'll be all right.
Oh, man. They'll be all right.
They'll be all right. But other than that, I think Mike Vrabel. And it's weird because Coach of the Year, the reason why it's such a weird award is because it can go to a coach that... it doesn't really go to the best coach like you said. It's pivotal. It changes. Kevin Stefanski has 2 of those. People forget that. Kevin Stefanski has 1 too. Both deserving, I would say. One when he took the Browns to the playoffs during COVID, led Baker Mayfield and this Browns team. But I think it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's easy to be coach of the year if you're a coach of the Browns. But to make the Browns look good, I can see why he'll win it. And of course, I'm a Browns fan. I'm happy he won that. But he definitely deserved it that year when we went to the playoffs with Joe Flacco. That season, he was an absolute I'm glad he's going back to play calling because last year was abysmal when we let
absolutely.
What was his freaking name again? I forgot because he's just not. He was just annoying all season. So when Kevin is the play caller, he deserves it. But the reason why is because I also looked at coaches like, can Sean Payne win it? And what if the Raiders are good? Can Pete Carroll win it? I mean, can Jim Harbaugh? It's a lot of what ifs, but Mike Vrabel was a clear winner for me for this year. So,
absolutely. Me too.
So, yeah, that was my pick.
All right. This one's going to be – I have a feeling it's going to be different here.
I don't think so.
Who is – yes, I think it is, though. I actually think it is. Who is the MVP of 2025?
I have the MVP for a guy that, yes, you maybe not be too high on, but I think he's going to put up crazy numbers. And I think he's going to actually get his first MVP award this year, which is why I'm not too high on them, even though they're on a division. But I have Joe Burrow winning MVP. I have Joe Burrow winning MVP of this league. It's like the same joke. The offense could put up 90 points, but the defense will allow 91 points. That's just what's going to happen. However, there's not change of the player that Joe Burrow is. I think Joe Burrow is going to go lights out this season. I think he's going to go great. I believe he's also – is he coming back? No, he's not coming back from injury. I forget, like every other year. Sometimes he does that. But this year, Joe Burrow is going to lead the Bengals into the playoffs, possibly far. But I think he is my MVP. He is my MVP favorite for this season. So, yeah.
Well, I think he should have – if they won the division last year, he should have won MVP. And I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for him to replicate what he did last year, especially because I do not believe that the defense got better. And speaking of Joe Burrow, he said last year when he was asked if he was having a good enough season to justify winning the MVP, and he goes, yeah, I don't think so, because you usually have to win your division. And I mean, in your case, you think the Bengals are going to win the division. I don't. I also don't think that they're going to make the playoffs. So here's a little game that we're going to do. We are going to go with a process of elimination for, I'm a little biased here. We're going to go with my division winners. I feel pretty convicted about those guys. I'm sorry. I would love for Joe Burrow to win MVP. I just don't think it's going to happen because it didn't happen last year. So if we go all the way back to Houston, look, I love CJ Stroud. I think he's awesome. Do I think he's better than Lamar, Burrow, Josh, and Patrick? I don't. And I am also, even though I have them winning the division, I'm still a little skeptical on how this Texans offense is going to look next year. And I don't know if he can put up the numbers that justify winning MVP. Buffalo, I don't see Josh Allen winning it 2 years in a row. Now, you have the Buffalo Bills finishing 15-2. If they finish 15-2, I feel like he absolutely should win MVP again.
Which I don't want to go back to back. Like, that was my second favorite. Because I was like, do we live in a league where they will give out back-to-back MVPs anymore? Like,
right. No,
that's just the reason 100%. Why I was like, I don't know. Let's just say if Joe Burrow, like, here's the funny thing. I think if Joe Burrow is just as good as Josh Allen with that record, I think they'll give it to Joe Burrow just because they don't want to be recency bias. Mm-hmm. It's the same conversation for Nikola Jokic in the NBA. It's the same conversation for everywhere. I don't know why it is. But,
I hear you.
So, yeah, that's why.
Yes, and then you move on to the north. You got Lamar Jackson. Listen, I love Lamar. That might have been arguably the best season of his career. This offense became that much harder to defend when Derrick Henry entered the building. And I think it's going to be because of him why Lamar does not win an MVP anytime soon. AFC West, I obviously have the Chiefs winning it. And I feel very strongly about the Broncos. I don't think either of those guys are going to have an MVP type season. I think that's going to be more based on the team itself. Patrick Mahomes, he is, in my opinion, still the best quarterback in football, and he's going to find a way to win this division. But man, the way that this Chiefs team is built, the way it's been built the last couple of years, it's not built for him or they just choose not to put up. He chooses not to put up MVP numbers. Like back when he entered the league and he had the worst pass defense in all of football, he kind of had to be the MVP of the league. He doesn't have to do that anymore. They just have to play great defense, and they have to do. Maybe they can't get away with that this year, but if they do just enough, all they care about at the end of the day is winning. They don't care about the crazy stats.
Yeah, they want to get back to that.
They want to get back to the bowl. That's what they want to do. NFC South Bucks. I love Baker Mayfield. I would love to see Baker Mayfield win a MVP at some point in his career. It's going to be really hard because 2023 was a career year. 2024 was a career year. 2025, and I also think that, again, it kind of goes with the Lamar one. I think that this team is more run-centric now. Baker isn't necessarily the focal point of the offense like he was when he first got on this Bucs roster. So I think that that's going to prevent him from winning MVP this year. And going to the NFC North, Jordan Love. I have the Packers winning the division. I have Detroit finishing second. Jared Goff had arguably the best year of his career last year, and he wasn't even one of the 2 or 3 best candidates. This guy literally completed 100% of his passes in one Monday night game last year and still did not win the MVP. It is insane. This dude had a receiving touchdown in that same game and still did not win MVP. Jared Goff's great. He's not winning MVP probably at any point in his career. Jordan Love, I don't see it. Like, Brett Favre was a fantastic quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, elite. Those are 2 of the best quarterbacks all time. I don't see Jordan Love in that same category. I don't see him winning anytime soon. They have Josh Jacobs in the backfield, for crying out loud.
They do.
They got the best defense. In my opinion, Jordan Love is kind of, I think Jalen Hurts is better, but I kind of consider them in the same category. Where It's like, well, hear me out. Hear me out. No, I'm saying Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback. I put them in the same category as you have a stacked team around you. It's kind of hard. Maybe Lamar as well. How much credit do we give you for how dynamic this offense is? And Jalen Hurts, he does deserve his flowers, but I mean, did I say Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love?
You said Jalen Hurts.
I said Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts deserves his flowers, but I mean, maybe one too many tush pushes for touchdowns.
I could do it.
Yeah, but Jordan Love as well, I just don't see it. Like, he doesn't strike me as an MVP quarterback. Not yet, at least. Yeah. Like, I just need to see a little bit more from him. And plus, Jacobs is nasty. Mm-hmm. And then we get to the NFC West. We have Matthew Stafford winning the NFC West again. And I love Matthew Stafford. I don't think anybody in the state of Florida loves Matthew Stafford as much as your boy. And I think to this day, he has one of the best arms in the NFL. He can still fit tight window throws. He is incredible. Bless you, bro. Bless you. He's still, in my opinion, one of the better quarterbacks in all of football. And I am very high on him. I'm very high on this Rams offense. Again, I don't think that he is their identity. I think that he's awesome, but I just don't see him winning MVP at this point in his career. Hasn't done it yet, but if he did, it would be awesome. That leaves the NFC East. And if you remember who my division winner is, I have the Washington Commanders winning the division.
If you're saying who I think you're going to say.
I think Jaden Daniels wins MVP. I think this dude is the real deal. I think the main reason why he wasn't in MVP consideration last year, obviously Josh and Lamar, they were awesome. They obviously deserved it. This man was a rookie. Now, CJ Stroud was a rookie. He had a great rookie season. He had a sophomore slump. I get all of that. But again, going back to there hasn't been a repeat division winner in the NFC East in almost 20 years. I look, Jaden Daniels made throws that I've never seen a rookie make before. Like, I go back to that Cincinnati game on Monday Night Football, and that was sick. This dude has the clutch factor. It's unbelievable. Like, it is hard for me to say that he's a top 5 quarterback when he was a rookie last year, but if he does just as good, or as I'm predicting, MVP of the league, he's probably on his way to being a top 3 quarterback. I think that Jaden Daniels, this is his year to win MVP. They might not make it to the Super Bowl, but I think he is very well set up to have the best season of any quarterback next year.
When are we going to go back to our first running back or receiving MVP? We haven't had a running back MVP or any other MVP since Adrian Peterson.
Listen, if Saquon didn't win it last year, they have no hope of winning it again.
And I had Saquon winning it. Like, I wanted Josh to get it, but I thought, Saquon Barkley had it. It was crazy. Like, it's a reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley is the reason why they were there, 100%. And that offense, I would have really given it to him, but It is what it is, man. We don't live in that kind of world. It's just a quarterback award now, which is, no hate. Quarterbacks, they are the leader of the team, so I get it. Most valuable player, most likely will go to them. So, but yeah.
All right, bro. We are entering our final categories.
Let's do it
right here.
Yeah.
Our conference championships. Who is going to be in the AFC championship this year?
Man, I don't know.
And the NFC. Go ahead and go both.
NFC was really tough, man. I'll tell you what.
It's a tough one.
NFC is so tough, and you know what? I might be glazing it, but here's the thing. I have the AFC Championship game. I have the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship game. And I have the Bills winning that. Oh, he's leaving. Yeah, that's it, bro. Come back. Skip. Oh, come on, Johnny. That's not bad. It's not that bad. Huh? I can't hear you.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, man.
It's not that bad. Come on, man. I have the Bills and Bengals. Bills will win that and make represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Yes. Tell me your picks, please. It's not that far off, bro. Come on.
I mean, how do you follow that? How do you follow?
What do you mean?
How do you follow what the news that I just heard? Oh my gosh, man, you are flying high for Cincinnati this year, man.
And I think, well, it's not that bad. I think because the Bengals. Well, look, I was debating between them or the Broncos to take that spot. It's not the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs get eliminated in the second round by the Bills. That's where my
Denver was a reasonable pick. You could have gone with Denver and Buffalo, and that would have been reasonable.
Yes, but either way, I still have the Bills winning that. Bills will be the AFC side. Look. Let me see this real quick. Hold on, AFC Championship odds, just to make sure I'm not crazy. It's not a favorable pick. It's not a bad pick.
I don't care what they say. They're wrong. They are so wrong.
Let's see this. Okay. Okay. Wait. What? The Chargers bro.
Hey, listen. The sports books don't know ball, bro. They don't know ball.
It's Bills, Ravens, Chiefs. They have the Chargers over the Bengals.
I get that.
No,
I get that. I do.
I don't. Okay.
Jim Harbaugh over Zach Taylor all day.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, but I don't know. Look, either way.
Give me Jim Harbaugh all day.
Well, what's your picks? Let me see. Before we go to NFC, what were you gonna say?
Okay, mine is a little bit more reasonable, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
I am for I don't know, what is this? The 9th year in a row. I've lost count at this point. Kansas City will once again host the AFC Championship, or as Nick Wright likes to call it, the Arrowhead Invitational. And
that's funny.
And the team that they will be hosting will be within their own division. I got them hosting the Denver Broncos.
Oh, okay.
I
like that.
Not the Chargers. I thought
you were going to say Chargers.
I'm not that crazy, man.
Okay.
Don't worry. Not as crazy as Cincinnati going to the AFC Championship. I'm sorry.
That's not that bad, bro.
Look,
and here's the best part.
Watch them miss the playoffs.
If I'm wrong, if the Bengals have a bad record, then I'm happy with that too, because in our division, so I wouldn't mind that. But I mean, it's just there's the same reason why I think Joe Burrow is going to have MVP year. I think he's going to absolutely carry it, and I do think they have some of these lucky wins. There's going to be wins in the season where they should have lost. They somehow won, and that's because of Mr. Joe Burrow. I'm not glazing. I'm just being honest. I also have the Chiefs. I don't think this will be the end of the Chiefs dynasty. I just think for the first time, maybe the AFC Championship game, we don't have to worry about the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. And the reason why I'm not really trying to be a Chiefs hater, it's just the same old. Everyone, we all root for the underdog until the underdog becomes a dynasty. You know what I mean? So that's what happened with Chiefs and Patriots. And I had a feeling once they become a dynasty, we're all going to be annoyed with it. And Taylor Swift sure didn't help. So there's that.
She didn't.
But yeah, let me hear your NFC picks. I want to hear your
My NFC pick.
Yeah.
Yes. Once again, very reasonable. I feel like I think the hot pick right now is the Green Bay Packers to make the NFC Championship. And
Okay.
if you didn't hear earlier, I said that I was high on the Packers before the Micah Parsons trade, and the Micah Parsons trade made me even more confident that they are going to have a successful 2025, not just in the regular season, but beyond. I think that they will be in the NFC title game. As the host, I'm not quite sure yet. I don't know if they're that good, but I know who they're going to be playing. They're going to be playing the Los Angeles Rams, and that's going to be a great football game.
Say that again. Who's your NFC Championship?
I have the Green Bay Packers playing against the Los Angeles Rams.
Maybe I'm going a bit. Okay. Packers is not crazy. Rams, that's pushing it for me. However,
How so? I can defend it right now.
I have to see it. I have to see it, man. And I'm sure Jared.
I can defend it.
I have the Rams making the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't know how they're gonna combat. I mean, it depends who they play too. And I think any home game that they have is not even a home game for them. It's for the other team because they barely have any fans. And I mean, but the roster is good.
That's true. Probably doesn't matter.
But I love Sean McVay. I see them perhaps going to the divisional round. I just don't see an NFC Championship, and I've probably gone really basic for my NFC Championship picks, but I do think these two teams are going to run it back. I think one team is going to shine brighter than the other, and so therefore I have the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Detroit Lions. It's not that crazy, bro. It's not that crazy, man. We're going to look back to this episode, and it might become reality. And guess what? Guess what, Johnny? I have the Lions advancing to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Maybe I'm a Lions glazer.
You're crazy.
No.
You are crazy.
No. I have them advancing. Now, here's the thing, though. There are some teams that, are not saying definite. There are some teams that could shine bright, perhaps get that appearance. But, look, the NFC was tough for me. I have to get to my safe bet. That's why I picked the Lions and Eagles. However, I do like the Packers. I'm not too sure about the Rams. I like the Packers and I do like the Commanders, but I just didn't know. It's NFC is so confusing. You know that conference more than I do. That's why I have the Lions and Eagles. It's not that bad. Come on, look, hold on.
If Detroit makes the Super Bowl, Ben Johnson is the unluckiest guy on the planet.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely is.
He bailed out on becoming the Commanders coach, and he would have had Jaden Daniels as his quarterback. And the year after he leaves Detroit, they're going to make the Super Bowl. Oh, man.
Ben Johnson could have been with the Commanders as the head coach?
He could have.
Why was that? Wait, when?
He was before they drafted Jaden Daniels.
And that was before they hired Dan Quinn?
They were going to hire him, and he said, actually, I want to stay with Detroit one more year. He bailed out on them.
I did not know that.
He did, yes.
So,
oh, man.
Your Super Bowl, yeah, go ahead.
Before I reveal my Super Bowl pick, I have to defend Los Angeles because, you're looking at me crazy. Listen here. And this is also going to defend my take why I don't believe Philadelphia is making it next year. Los Angeles was the only team in the entire playoffs that actually challenged the Eagles last year. They were the only in a blizzard.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford, this is a warm weather team. They play in a dome, and they almost beat the Eagles on the last drive. They were right there. Dude.
Are you that confident Matt Stafford, though?
Dude, did you see who they added this offseason? They have not one, two number one receivers on their team now. They go from Puka Nacua to Cooper Kupp to Puka Nacua to Devontae Adams. Are you kidding me? And Philadelphia's pass rush is worse than it was a year ago. And somehow Philadelphia is going to make it all the way back to the NFC Championship. What? So you're telling me they're going to either win the division again and go all the way back to the NFC Championship, or they're not going to win the division, and Jalen Hurts is going to have to win his first road playoff game. I don't believe
I think so.
That's realistic.
Now, wait, hold on. Do you think Los Angeles, that SoFi Stadium is a away playoff game? I don't think it's much of an.
It's not a great home field advantage. I will give you that.
It's not.
But Matt Stafford almost won in Philly. Nobody can do that.
That was a pretty shocking game. That game could have. I remember watching that.
Dude.
I'm just not. I had to see it to believe it. That's why I'm going back to the basics.
I'm sorry. This offense is better. That's why I believe. And I think that defense. I think Jared Verse, Defensive Player of the Year, leading the best defense. So, who is your Super Bowl pick, Irving? You got Detroit, obviously.
Yes, and I do. I currently, and you might not like this, but
no.
Well, it means obviously I have Bills and Lions because I have. What are you talking, bro? We just said our championship game favorites. Hold on.
I already know. Oh, yes. Man, dude.
If it's Bills and Lions, let's just play hypotheticals. If it's Bills,
Bills, you're picking the Bills?
If it's the Bills to beat the Bengals.
I'm okay with that.
And if it's the Lions,
I get that.
Hold on. If it's the Lions representing it, Bills and Lions, I have the Bills coming out as Super Bowl winners at the end of the season.
Okay, I thought you were about to say Lions, Bengals, and dude, we wouldn't have a podcast anymore, dude. I was about to say.
No. Hold on. I do think the Lions beat the Eagles. I thought I said at each championship favorite, I said like, this team is going to move on. So yes.
I didn't hear the Bills Bengals one.
So let's just hear the two.
I was just so shocked.
No, you're good. Let's hear the two.
I was like, what?
The two key teams. Bills will win the AFC. Lions will win the NFC. I don't think that's that crazy. However, I do think Bills, regardless who they play, anyone in the NFC, Bills will be Super Bowl winners. If Bills play the Eagles, Packers, Commanders, Rams, Bills are winning the Super Bowl.
Listen, I like that.
Okay.
I think if Josh Allen makes the Super Bowl, he wins guaranteed.
Absolutely.
That was my pick last year.
Same here.
If Josh Allen played the Eagles, they would have beaten the Eagles.
I agree with that. Yes. I agree with that.
I do believe that this man has been waiting for quite a while to get on that stage. And I think, dude, this man was about to have the best year of his life. He almost made the Super Bowl. Imagine if he made the Super Bowl and you marry Haley Steinfeld. Dude, what a year for him. What a year for him.
There's a theory that I think Travis Kelce would have proposed to Taylor Swift if they didn't.
Oh boy, that would have been corny as heck.
I agree.
That would have been corny. Meanwhile, Josh and Haley, they don't even have phones at their wedding. Imagine that.
No, they don't. But no, I do have. I had them going crazy. So.
Well, I mean,
let me hear yours.
You already thought it was crazy that I had the Rams making the NFC Championship, and now I have to. And now you probably think I'm completely out of my skis because I have them advancing to the Super Bowl to play the Kansas City Chiefs.
What's the result of that?
What's the result of it? Man, it's hard.
Wait, you have the Chiefs beating who in the AFC? The Broncos?
Denver.
Okay.
Denver.
That's fair
Denver.
if it becomes to that situation.
Denver.
I hate that we have the Chiefs in Super Bowl talks already. Maybe that's where I'm at.
Yeah, it's hard because the AFC side of things, Mahomes has lost to two quarterbacks in his career. He's lost to Brady and he's lost to Burrow. Brady is the GOAT. Burrow is, in my mind, one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league. Bo Nix, I love Bo Nix. I think he's going to be great this year. I don't know if he's at that level yet. And maybe all it takes is Sean Payton out coaching Andy Reid, which I wouldn't put it past him. I do think that Sean Payton is one of the 5 best coaches in the NFL, and he could scheme up an offense that is able to beat Steve Spagnuolo's defense. I think that it is possible, but I still got to roll with the Chiefs. I know that's a safe bet, but I love the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you.
Talk to me.
You watched that Super Bowl last year, man, and we have more than one game of evidence as to how to beat the Chiefs. And let me tell you, man, That Rams defense can do it too.
I agree with that. I
I
actually agree
think
with
they
Rams to
can.
beat the Chiefs. Yes, I agree. It's just the Rams getting there is where I'm having trouble
The
with.
Rams getting there is tough, but if they get there, man,
I do.
dude.
I do. Can you imagine?
And I think Stafford can keep up with Mahomes. I absolutely
I
do.
Okay. I'm not so sure with that staff report. However,
I think Sean McVay and Andy Reid, Mahomes and Stafford. Stafford is still maybe not a top 5 quarterback, but still has an elite arm.
Is he top 10?
Is he? Yes. Heck yes. Heck yes, he's top
Okay.
10.
Maybe I'm not as maybe because age to me. How old is Matt Stafford?
He's probably 37, 38. Let me tell you this. He wins the Super Bowl this year or makes the Super Bowl, he's gone. This is his last year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think so.
Let me ask you this question then.
Right off, and this is what I'm predicting. Right off into the sunset, just like Peyton Manning did, just like John Elway did.
That's not bad. Joe Flacco is 3 years older than him. That's
Yeah.
not bad of an age difference for a guy who's kind of considered old. I don't know.
Let me tell you, Matt Stafford looks a lot better at 37 than Joe Flacco does at 40.
Okay.
Joe Flacco didn't even look that good at 37.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, man.
But would you say a system could change anything though?
What is it?
A system could change anything?
He was really good before. The only reason we didn't talk about him enough is Detroit was a dumpster fire.
Yeah. No, it was. Can you imagine if that Matt Stafford played with this Lions team?
Mm-hmm. Dude.
That would be insane.
That would probably be the next dynasty.
I agree. It's just
it would be nasty.
Detroit. You know, it's the crazy thing about the Lions. Their all-time team is pretty good for a franchise that's never been to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Lie. Yeah,
it is. It's really good.
A little fun fact there for that.
So, you are predicting that the Bills beat who again?
The Lions. The Detroit Lions.
The Bills beat the Lions. That would be a great game if it happens. But I have the Rams beating the Chiefs.
Rams as Super Bowl favorites. That's more far-fetched than my Bills. You got to be honest like that. You got to at least.
You think so? Josh Allen hasn't been there yet. The Lions haven't been there yet. Both of my guys have been there.
That's true. I'll give you that. However, if it happens, it happens. If it happens last year, you could see it. But like this year, I mean, I know everything could change. But I'm not talking about the Chiefs part. I'm talking about the Rams. You think Rams have more of a chance at the Super Bowl than the Lions?
I do. I 100%.
If Rams and Lions face each other in the NFC Championship, and let's just say Lions host, you still have the Rams winning that game.
I do.
Wow. Okay.
I do.
I cannot wait till we get there, man. But that's going to be far ahead.
Wait. Actually, I take that back. I think they could, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Wait. So
I think they could. I think they could, but I don't think it's going to happen.
You see how my Lions prediction isn't that bad?
See, here's another thing.
Okay.
I've been high on the Rams for a long time. I was high on them 2 years ago. They were the hottest team going into the playoffs. They were the one team nobody wanted to face. And you want to know the reason why they didn't get past the wild card? Guess who they drew up? They drew up the Lions in their first playoff game. Their first home playoff game in 30 years. We all knew Detroit was going to win that game. And then last year, they were the only team that could challenge the Eagles, and they just fell short. I think the Rams are that good, man. I think they've just gotten unlucky the last couple of years. And I think this is arguably the best that this offense has been under Sean McVay, in my opinion. I'm very much looking forward to the season, y'all. And if you guys are looking forward to hearing us on a week-to-week basis, you guys can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. We will be up on Apple Podcasts very shortly. I promise you, we are getting up there. We are making our way there slowly but surely. But click like, subscribe, comment down below who you think is going to win each of these divisions. Who's winning the MVP? Am I crazy? Is Irving crazy? I mean, I think he's a little crazy, but I mean, maybe you guys can check me on that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one. Later.